Hello everybody. Today I'm going to try and use the Rhiggit animation toolbox to loop my walk cycle, or to copy and paste my walk cycle. But basically loop it. I have dynamics on this character with the skirt and hair, and because of that I start kind of this slide into my walk cycle, and that way that the hair and the skirt have time to settle before she starts taking her first actual steps. And it's just frame 43 through frame 72 here, in case you need a reference. I'll go ahead and do a quick loop here. From the side, I'm going to play it through a couple times, and then from the front, play it through a couple of times. Alright, so go back here. I'm going to set like 200, and go ahead and start. Let me go ahead and turn this center current item off, and then I'm going to start selecting. I'm deselecting that one on purpose. I'm going to start selecting with these down here on purpose. This is the way I found it worked for me, so I'm just gonna let you guys in on what that little tip off seems to be. Alright, so make sure if you deselect something to reselect it, because it's mandatory for it to work right. I got the head up here. Is that selected? Yep. Alright, so the last thing I want to select is the main root. And you'll see why in a second. Looks like I got everything selected for sure here. Okay. Animation toolbox. Make sure select is checked. Go ahead and put it on motion. And I'm going to copy from frame 43 to frame 72. And then I'm checking this match last, and it's going to go off of the last thing I selected, which was that main root. So when I paste, it moves the whole rig. Oh, I pasted right from frame 43, but that's going to be alright. So I'm going to paste from frame 72. And it doesn't seem to have messed anything up. Let's go. I'm going to paste it a couple more times. Paste it and paste it. I think I can fit one more in there. Yeah. So should walk and continue walking. Alright, so we go over the hip movement I did. I used the hip's root to wobble her, to get the wobble she needed, but it wasn't really enough. I mean, it's really lacking. It's just a little bit of shake, but no actual sway. So I had to actually move the main root to give her some sway, but that caused her spine to follow, so I actually had to compensate by moving these joints all the way up in the opposite direction of the main root sway, so she wasn't just flopping back and forth. It just looks all wrong. So that's how I got that. I mean, girls have some hip movement. So let me go ahead and show you a couple other things while I'm in here. So I got clothFX on her head here, on her hair, and these are my settings. Make your hair. It makes a weight map. Over in Modeler, I actually have another tutorial that demonstrates exactly how I made this hair. But it's kind of a long process. You just make a few strands at a time and kind of move them around until you've got, you know, a decent set of what looks like splines, but they're hairs. Alright, let me go through these settings just real quick. Show you what I got. This seems to work pretty good, but not shaking around too much, not too much bounce. Works with gravity. Doesn't get ahead of her too much because she's moving. The clothFX is pretty touchy, so. And then I have a collider here. There we go. I'm going to show you what the collider looks like. It's an airtight object. So that there's no edges that can cause calculations to go through the object. They'll stay on the outside of this. I have the sleeves. At the end of the sleeves, I have the hole closed up, and at the bottom, I have the hole closed up. And I made sure there's no holes anywhere. But the reason why her face is out like that is because the hair will fall down into her face. Gravity just pulls it forward unless you have something kind of holding it back. It actually looks, you know, relatively natural as it goes around that collision object. So let me go back to the collision object and show you the settings. I think they're just default settings. Right here, yeah, that's, I think, default. I might have changed the bounce. Oh, I think I tightened the radius a little bit too. Or I might have given it a little extra radius. I don't really remember. But that's my settings. So real quick. And oh, I haven't set up, so I guess you guys can watch this. I want to set up a softFX on the legs. Now, new Lightwave comes with this weight brush. I don't know how to use it, but I think it works very similar to the third power's paint weights. So I'm going to turn that on, and you'll see what I'm doing at least. If you don't have this, you can try and make that the Lightwave version weight brush work for you, hopefully. I'm going to call this a leg muscles inner, and put my brush radius down a little because I don't know how big this brush is yet. So I'm going to go from behind I'm going to put her on frame 0. You don't actually have to. That's what, I don't know if the other weight brush is this intuitive, but with the third powers one, I can just be on any frame. But so I kind of got it to be pretty even here. I'm going to put it on frame 0. And I'm painting weights and layout, which is pretty awesome. I'm going down here and delete these ones. Right here, and lighten that up a little bit down there. Maybe actually just lighten all these a little bit. And they're a nice orange color instead of red, which is the redder it is, the more the value. I'm guessing it's approaching 100% when it's really red. Alright, let's go down here and do these ones. Get this a little bit here. This just adds a little bit more believability to it, because Barbie's legs don't move at all, wobble or have any motion to them, and real girl legs, they actually, if you've ever like seen slow motion, you know, Olympic runners and style, their legs are really getting some movement going. The muscles bounce around a lot. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of that in this. And there's a shin bone right up at the front, so that won't be moving at all. Just this whole the back of the calf here and the whole thigh. More of the back moves than the front. The front kind of, the muscles tighten up and clench more. The back kind of wobbles. So I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't think my autosave is on. There we go. So that saved, should have saved it to my model. Or it will when I close this, I think. There we go. So my model should now have that edit to it, that weight map. So I'm going to put in softFX here. And I don't want the gravity or the force going up and down really. I mean, that is how it is, but weight displaces along the bone, and it seems more believable to me that it would be on the x-axis, kind of back and forth. Unfortunately, you can only put force in negative or positive, which would mean something pushing left or right. It'd be nice if it did both, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on over here and on to the next thing. So I want the size to be minimal. I don't want them really flopping around. And the wave size will shorten the amount of time that you get, you know, reaction, muscle reaction. And then I got to put that map I just made, leg muscles. And you can see that it's red up here. The points that have are going to be affected are red, and the non-affected points are blue. And you really can't, I can see a little red right here. Anyways, I think that should be it. And I'm going to calculate from the hair, from the clothFX tab. So let me go ahead and calculate this and see how it is. I'm going to speed this up. Kind of scooch along here with it. You see it's moving. Alright, so let me go to the camera view here. And I don't know if you can, it's going to be very subtle, very slight. The movement of the legs. I just want to make sure it's not going out of control here. It looks like it's doing alright. Let me make a preview real quick. So 43 through, oh no, let's say 100. Let's speed this up. Alright, so you can see, like right in here on both legs, I might have got a little too much. It does it on this leg, and then this leg, you can see it falls behind because of the weight. But that, you know, that's pretty believable. That's what a leg would do. You can see this flattens out right here as it hits the ground. I'm not it's not too bad. I wish I could see. Let me see. Turn that bow and x-ray off. And make sure it doesn't do. I got my headlight on. Where is it flattening out at? Right about there. Yeah, it don't look bad. Sorry. Alright, so I'm gonna go with that. Let me see what she looks like in VPR real quick. So the leg is coming right through the skirt. And you can do this with clothFX, what I'm about to do. But I have a little plugin called syCloth. Alright, so let me show you the skirt collider real quick. And now I just have it motion options, and it's following the parent root, main root right here, which means it's using the bones off of. I have it in a separate layer in Modeler. It's all in the same file, but in a separate layer, so it comes in as separate objects. This all right here is one LWO file, but with 8 layers in it. I'm not sure. Upper body hair collider, low poly shirt collider here. I don't think I'm using even this one. I just wanted to show you the skirt collider, which I have interacting with the skirt. So let's go to the skirt. And the skirt is parented to that hip object right there. I tried parenting it to other things, and it just seems to work best parented to the hip object, which is this guy. So let's go back to the skirt, and I'm going to bring up my properties and go to primitives and go back to frame 0, because syCloth works in, it's linear, but I'm going to set it up so that it works from frame 0, and you can't like just scrub unless you make a cache. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to show you my settings real quick. Here's my properties, my pin. And pin, I guess I should have showed you the pin real quick. Let's go back to paint weights here, and I'll show you the skirt pin. And this is my weights on the skirt. None of these other polys or points have weights, just around the top. But I set this up. Actually, I think I did use paint weights to do this also, but oops. Anyways, turn that back off, and go back in here, show you my damp settings, collide mesh settings. Oh, it looks like my pin is turned off. It needs to be on the skirt, and the collider mesh should be the skirt collider. Alright. Show you my gravity. And I have self-collision turned on. So I'm going over here to cache. Now I have a cache file from another scene. Is default name this one, but I'm going to make this one go to that second cache, and then you have to put a name for the file, but no extension. I think you used to have to use a dot, but not in the new syFlex. You just put the name and no extension, no dot, nothing. My cache folder was empty, but if you would, and you can manually select and delete it out of here. But if you don't want to do that, you can erase the cache from right here. So all you have to do, it's on, and it's ready to go, and I got the cache set up, and I just press play. And it'll do the dynamics. maybe I'll just select this and try and keep that centered. Alright, so you can see it's moving along pretty good. Let me go ahead and make a preview. Just a quick one. Go ahead and speed this up. Alright, so we'll see how it moves. It's got pretty good deformation. So everything should be calculated. I see the little bit of leg wobble there. The hair should be calculated too. This is going to be my scene. Oh. Go ahead and 188. Alright. And I'm going to try and render this and show you real quick what it'll look like after I'm done. Let's go to render, properties. I don't have the slightest what anything does in here, so I cannot optimize yet. I've been meaning to go over their tutorials and try and find something that works for me, but I still haven't gotten there. So I'm going to just do PNG. Oh, I'm looking for my camera size here. I want it on. Normally I do 38 by 40 because it helps when I knock it down to 1080. It reduces the amount of grain significantly. I don't know if it does it in the new Lightwave. In 2015 it really made a difference. Let me do a quick F9 here. A minute and a half. 33%. So I'm going to save this real quick to my desktop. .jpg. So let me close this. It's got a clean alpha. I'm going to full size this so I can see the grain. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do one at 1080 and see what it's like. It should render significantly faster. 25 seconds. Oh, that was done so fast I didn't see it was done. Alright, so I'm going to save this one as O2. Close that up. Alright, so I'm looking at the graininess. This is the big one. 4K. And this 1080p. So yeah, you can see there's, well, that 1080p. Yeah, you can see the difference in the graininess. It's pretty significant. Much cleaner. But I mean, if you're putting it on, if you're going to put something into some live footage, that grain might be exactly what you want. Just not with this model. She's too cartoony, and the hair is just not anything but CG hair. I don't know. I've seen pretty good hair done in Lightwave, so I'm just not there yet. But this is fun for me, so I don't ever let it get me down. I'm just having a good time. So I'm going to stick with this for my render, because it's going to render much faster. 188 from 43. Go to render. F10. It's the same as pressing this button here. I'm turning off the render display. Frame 1 is done. Alright, so that's the beginning. I'll go ahead and speed this render up.